full upgrades so that seniors wouldn't always need to go to hospital for care. It's been 6 months since a hospice specifically for those who are homeless opened in our city. We check in with them on how it's been going. And a spicy challenge. We will tell you about a new festival looking to heat things up in Windsor. The mayor of Essex wants to push the province to fix the region's paramedic crisis. So she's bringing forward an emergency motion Monday to town council. This comes after recent data shows that Windsor Essex often has no free ambulances available. CBC's Jennifer LaGrassa reports.
Throughout last year, there was more than 2,000 minutes where an ambulance was unavailable to respond to an emergency in our community. This situation is called a code black, and they've been on the rise in recent years. The Paramedic Union says this is wearing on their staff.
We're responding to calls where someone has been waiting hours for us to get there, and they might have deteriorated. They're in an emotional state because they've been waiting so long, and all we want to do is to be able to help you. When we don't have those resources, it's absolutely crushing.
Overwhelmed hospitals with no beds are part of the issue, forcing paramedics to wait hours before they can discharge their patient. Earlier this week, I spoke with a resident who waited 9 hours in the ER, and they counted 16 paramedics also waiting. After hearing of the recent data and also from community members who say loved ones have died waiting for an ambulance, the mayor of Essex says that this needs to be urgently addressed.
To me, that's really worrisome because our residents here in Windsor, Essex County deserve to know that our EMS service is there when we call them. We can't afford this right now. Our residents are getting older. We have a growing population here. We need to make sure we have enough frontline staff and enough hospital capacity to adequately provide for Windsor and Essex County.
In October, then Warden of the County of Essex, Gary McNamara, declared an emergency over the shortage of ambulances, but it was soon called off. Bondi says that we're still in emergency mode. She wants to see a full review of the hospital system locally, and she also says that we don't have enough beds to deal with our population. Windsor-Tecumseh MPP says there are strategies in place to help deal with this, like nurses to help with that offload delay, EMS who can treat and release their patients, and the province funding new hire paramedics. But he says people are also unnecessarily calling 911.
When you look at the data, we have a lot of demand for the service right now. And part of that is I think people are getting frustrated in our community about the time it takes to wait. And there may be a sense that when you travel by ambulance, you jump the queue at the emergency room. That's, using an ambulance ties up a lot of resources, as we've seen. So part of what we need to do is to make sure we have more happening at the hospital.
Now, Jen, you spoke with the Paramedic Union today. What more do they want to see happen?
They want to see more paramedics hired on. So right now we have just over 300 in the region, and the union says that we need at least 50 more to fill in and also allow current staff to take their allotted vacation and not burn out. But they're also in their collective bargaining right now and said that pay is not competitive in our region. Elsewhere in the province, paramedics make $5 to $10 more, and this often means that we can't attract skilled workers to the area. The union, though, also understands that this is a multi-layered issue that relies on solutions in the hospital, but also with paramedics. So they're happy with Bondi's emergency motion that is moving forward to town council on Monday.
Thanks for this, Jen. And new long-term care projects announced today aim to keep seniors out of an already overcrowded hospital system. 4 local long-term care homes, 6 projects, and more than $400,000 will help make that happen.
And we all know that being a resident long-term care home is a much better life experience than being in the hospital.
Every single person that we're able to keep in the home and provide that support to is significance for them, and I think there's significance for the healthcare system in terms of having different care points along the way for them to receive that care.
The Local Priorities Fund is a $20 million investment. It's providing money to 189 projects across Ontario, including 6 in Windsor. It's for things like equipment, which means seniors won't need to go to hospital for some services, but the province also said it allows long-term care homes to accept residents with specialized needs because of the upgrades. Now, both the village of Aspen Lake and the village at St. Clair will be getting nearly $200,000 each. That's for equipment to help with bariatrics, diagnostics, and wound care. Extended Care Southwood Lakes will be getting more than $22,000 for 2 projects. That's for diagnostic equipment and pressure-relieving mattresses, which help prevent infections. And another 2 projects were approved at Briette Manor for more than $18,000 for equipment to improve patient care. Since opening 6 months ago, a Windsor hospice specifically for people experiencing homelessness has been full. At points, there has even been a wait list.
Unfortunately, there is a great need for service in this community. There are a lot of people who experience homelessness in vulnerable housing, and that number grows exponentially year by year. I think as Canadians, we like to think that that's, a story that's somebody else's story, but it could be any of ours. And, it's a real privilege to be able to support people, to welcome them home at end of life.
The 3-bed space has cared for 6 palliative patients in total. The organization is looking to expand. Right now, it relies on donations and is halfway to its fundraising goal of $500,000. It says it plans on applying to the province for funding to increase its beds and clinical care. A small Ontario community east of Ottawa is in mourning today, trying to come to grips with the death of Provincial Police Officer Eric Mueller yesterday. Police say he and 2 other OPP officers were shot by a man while responding to a disturbance call. The 2 fellow officers with him were wounded. We're learning new details about the altercation, about the officers and the suspect. CBC's Natalia Goodwin has this report.
Flags flying at half-mast. The streets in this village are mostly quiet, with few people wanting to go outside or talk about what happened yesterday. The scene of the crime remains blocked off.
Well, it's pretty sad, isn't it? Didn't really think it would happen around here, but it did.
C'est dommage. C'est dommage.
It's a shame, this man said in French, a feeling shared by many across eastern Ontario today.
We were really devastated from hearing the news, saddened by the cause, because they just got 2 young kids and just a year-old one, and his mom is another gem.
Just 25 minutes south of Bourget, a book of condolences has been set up in this pharmacy for Sergeant Eric Mueller. A first chance for friends, family and members of the public to lay flowers and express their sorrow.
The OPP here supports everyone in the community, so why can't we support him? And everybody wants to come down.
Sergeant Mueller was a veteran OPP officer, killed in the line of duty in what the force has called an ambush. The incident also injured 2 other officers, Marc Lazon and Francois Gamesh Aslan. The man accused of shooting the officers, 39-year-old Alain Belfoy, remains in custody. He's charged with first-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted murder. One of his neighbors says the suspect had a dog, practiced shooting his gun, but kept mostly to himself. She believes Belfoy was involved in crime. The CBC has agreed not to identify her because she worries about her safety.
It's pretty crazy, especially because we have a little one now. And yeah, it makes me just want to move. Such a small town, you don't think anything like that'll happen here.
CBC was able to find 3 prior convictions, theft of $5,000 or less in 2009 and 2 traffic violations in 2019. But few details, like any alleged motive or why a disturbance 911 call turned deadly. There are still many questions hanging in the air here in Bourget, with people wondering how and why this might have happened. Some answers may come as the case makes its way through the justice system. Belfoy is due back in court on May 18th. Natalia Goodwin, CBC News, Bourget, Ontario.
There are 74 active wildfires in Alberta today, and 20 are burning out of control. 16,000 people are currently out of their homes. Hundreds of Canadian Armed Forces personnel are on the ground assisting, with more on the way. CBC's Julia Wong is near Drayton Valley, Alberta, where a fire is still raging out of control.
It will be at least another week before residents from Drayton Valley and Brazeau County will be allowed to go home. More than 7,000 residents were forced from their homes late last week after a wildfire started burning nearby. At least 4 homes were destroyed. One man says he saw chunks of ash falling from the sky, describing it as like walking through hell. Now, since that time, some residents have been staying in RVs and trailers, waiting things out. One evacuee is living in a tent with her cat, saying she wanted to have her own little space instead of living in a hotel or with family. She says she wasn't really a camper before, but she's making do. And there are a range of emotions to the news. It may be some time before people can go home.
I mean, I just needed a space to land, so a place to call home. This is home now, right? So we make a new home, a temporary home, and everybody's in the same boat.
It doesn't compute, and that's why so many people are frustrated. They're not giving useful information. Where is the fire? Why is it still a hazard to town? We get you consider it out of control, but what is making it out of control so that the layman can understand it? We're not in their meeting rooms. We don't see their maps. We don't see their meetings that they have. They need to get those meetings out to us somehow to make us feel better about sitting in parking lots with our crippled family, just trying to live. It sucks.
The town and county say they want to get services like hospitals, grocery stores, and pharmacies back up and running before evacuees return. They also say the fire situation is volatile and the weather this weekend will not be helping with that. The forecast shows gusty conditions and temperatures in their 30s, which are 10 to 15 degrees above seasonal. That means the fire around Drayton Valley and the other fires around the province could flare up again. Julia Wong, CBC News, near Drayton Valley, Alberta.
That is DJ Shub playing to a crowd at the Toldo Lancer Center last night. The Juno Award winner kicked off the University of Windsor's annual powwow. There are events on campus all day tomorrow. It's aimed at students and alumni, but anyone can attend. There are performances planned with people coming in from across North America to celebrate.
Kickoff is at 12 p.m., so you want to get here a little bit early. There's free parking on site on campus, so everyone can roll on down, and it's like people can come in whenever they like. So if you want to come in for 12, you can stay for an hour. You can come later in the day, and the schedule is all on our website, uwindsor.ca/powwow. Everyone's welcome to come spectate. There's an opportunity to listen. There's an MC who guides the activities happening throughout the day. So as dancers are going through their exhibitions, you get to listen and learn, and then going and mingling amongst the crowd. People will have the opportunity to come up and dance with the community, and it's really a celebration for everyone to come together.
Let's take a live look outside there. We've got a chance of showers throughout the evening, but a mix of sun and clouds on the way for tomorrow. Colette Kennedy will join us after the break with more. Stay with us. Colette Kennedy joins us now for a look at local weather. But Colette, before we get into weather, we're a couple of days shy of Mother's Day, so I thought this would be a good chance to chat, and I wanted to ask you what you're thinking about this Mother's Day.
Yeah, and I'm definitely thinking about my mom, and I'm going to spend some time with her this weekend. I may have mentioned it on the show before, but she has Parkinson's, and you know, it's so challenging, and I'm so proud of her, how she has been resilient and has shown such strength through this time. So time with my mom. I have a wonderful stepmom who's been in my life for years, so I'm really lucky, and it's her birthday today. And then recently, Katerina, you know, I became a stepmom. I'm only the mother of fur babies, but I'm a stepmom too, and so I think they have something planned for me this weekend. How about you?
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Colette. I really appreciate that. For me, I'm thinking about my mom as well, and I'm just thinking about how if I can be a fraction of the mother that she has been to me, if I can be that mother when I become a mama, because I don't know if people have noticed, I'm looking at the screen to see if you can tell, got a bit of a bump situation.
The baby
oh, here we go.
bump.
We got a full screen. There we go. We got a baby bump. It's about I'm 8 months along now. So for those who maybe were wondering if that's what's going on, that is what's going on. And so that's what I'm thinking about for this Mother's Day. And this is an excellent segue back to you, Colette, to talk about the weather ahead.
And I know our viewers all wish you well, and really congratulations, Katerina. You're going to be an excellent mom, just like your own mother. We all know that. All right, how about the weather for our Mother's Day and all of our mothers, whatever form that might be that you take? Well, we're going to get into that. We'll start off with today some of the daytime highs. The hot spot in Ontario, Ty, Hamilton, and Toronto at Pearson Airport, just over 28 degrees. But hey, we were pretty close on the heels there with 27 degrees. And our current temperatures, it's 22 and 24 in Chatham-Kent. For a change here, a little bit warmer, a little cooler for Sarnia with that wind direction. And if you're thinking it felt a little more humid as we have that little bit of moisture trying to make its way in, well, you would be correct. So let's just see where that humidex value is. Hey, 22 went to 25. We haven't had a lot of humidity, and so we're just starting to feel a little bit of that building in. We do have some showers here being reported at the airport. It's generally light in nature. The atmosphere is pretty dry here. There was a little bit of just a heavier kind of pocket that was coming through Ann Arbor and pushing eastward, and you could see some redevelopment right there between Windsor and Leamington. So a few places where you get a little bit of a downpour, but that ridge of high pressure is going to be punching back and trying to push this away. It's trying to move in, and between the two, yes, we get some light showery activity, pretty spotty in nature, but through the overnight, and some of that cloud cover here too. So we keep some of that into tomorrow morning, the cloud cover and the slight chance of showers. And then, you know, a lot of it, especially for the afternoon and then for the portion of Mother's Day, can be that very high, thin cloud. So a lot of generally fair weather cloud and still a bright sky in the appearance that we'll get. But just know that it's not going to be completely clear sailing there. So for our readings overnight tonight, 14 degrees with a few showers here and there. That sunrise tomorrow at 6:14. And then tomorrow morning, I mean, we tend to heat up pretty quickly. So 17 by about 8 a.m. already, maybe 9. And then we'll be finding those temperatures climbing. What's a little different tomorrow is this component of the direction of our winds. And with that, it does mean that we'll have our temperatures just a tiny bit cooler, even with any cloud cover there, because we're still getting that sunlight through. Do know that the UV index is very high. So it is at 9 for tomorrow. So I say a little cooler, just a few degrees, still above seasonal, that high for Saturday. For our moms out there, becoming variable into the afternoon. 10 degrees in the morning, 19 for the daytime high, so just kind of puts us back where it's seasonal for this time of year. It will be a little cooler, though, Sunday night into Monday. So Monday starts cooler, but look what happens with our temperatures. A little bit of bouncing around as we go into next week, Katerina. And again, congratulations to you and wishing all of our moms. And again, moms can come in many different forms. Doesn't have to even be that title. Wishing them well this weekend.
Thanks so much, Colette. Have a wonderful Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Now, when we come back, who can handle the heat? We will tell you about a spicy festival coming to Windsor. Great news for women's basketball fans in Canada. The WNBA is finally making a Canadian stop for the first time. The Minnesota Lynx and Chicago Sky face off this weekend at Toronto's Scotiabank Arena. Bridget Carlton is from Chatham-Kent. She plays for the Lynx and is about to be part of history.
It's pretty surreal. Growing up, you never imagined WNBA associated with Canada at all. It's kind of two different things. So to be a part of this game is super special, and feeling the excitement around it, being here. We got here like 3 hours ago, and it's already, you feel the excitement as soon as we landed in Toronto.
There will also be a larger-than-life WNBA logo sculpture to mark this historic game in Canada. Titled Signed Toronto, it will visit different locations in downtown Toronto where fans of all ages can add their signatures to the sculpture. A city crew in an Orlando suburb recently found an unexpected intruder inside a Florida stormwater pipe. No, that is not an oversized toad. This 5-foot alligator was seen wandering underground. Luckily, it was a robot with a camera that stumbled into it. We don't want to imagine a human crawling up to that reptile in such a tight space. Can't even imagine. The robot managed to follow it for 100 meters or so before the alligator meandered away. You've got a chance to turn up the heat tomorrow. A first of its kind, the Heat Seeker Festival is happening tomorrow, and people will be able to try hot sauce from all over southwestern Ontario. The Windsor Morning team had the organizers pop in, and yes, they sampled some of the spiciest stuff. Now, before we see who survived, here's a bit about why Heat Seeker is happening.
The thing about hot sauce is, it's like, it's a collectible. Like, some people just buy it and don't even eat it, which I find weird, but hey, buy away. And also, it's like a craft beer, right? If you like hot sauce, you're like, oh, I want to try all the hot sauces. Like, no one ever says, oh, I like hot sauce, tries 2 and goes, no, I don't want to try the rest of them. No, it's like people try them. So it's kind of a cool atmosphere of people walking around to each booth to try and taste them. A lot of people like the flavor. Some people just go to like die, which I'm not into. But I mean, I'm all about flavor and heat. You can have hot sauce that actually tastes good and that's really hot at the same time.
It seems like you have quite the lineup or quite the activity set up for Saturday. Christy, maybe I'll ask you, just tell me a bit more about what will be featured at the event on Saturday.
20 hot sauce companies that are coming from all across Ontario, actually, and we even have somebody coming down from Quebec. So we have vendors traveling a really far way to come all the way down here. And so at each of their booths, they're going to be sampling their own product line. So we've been kind of sharing with everyone following our updates that there's going to be over 100 sauces to sample while you're there. So you can walk around, interact with the vendors, talk to them about your heat preferences. They can recommend sauces for you to try. Some of them are going to have some really unique flavors. So there's going to be a little bit of something for everybody. And then while you're there as well, we have Black Magic Culinary Creations serving up a really good menu. Craft Heads is going to be running a bar. So there really is going to be something there for everybody.
Okay, so we'll do the Halo Heat one, the green one first. All right, Mike, you ready? Okay, let's go. It's not so bad.
No.
Yeah, it has a bit of a kick to it.
Tastes like a chutney that my mother makes.
It does taste like a chutney that your mom would make, yeah.
Yeah, I think of it tastes like a garden. It's very
It tastes like a garden. I love that.
Does that have coriander in it?
Yeah. Okay, so far I think we're starting on a good note.
Nice.
Mike, Mike, what about you?
This is hot. No, I'm just kidding. No, this has a really nice level of spice.
This is the herb berry. Okay.
Cheers.
I didn't have a nugget, so I just hit my finger.
Yeah. Oh, that hurts. Yeah.
Lives up to its name.
Wow.
That is heat. Wow. Okay.
I feel that on the top of my palate.
On the bottom of your feet?
I felt on my tongue.
Are your knees sweating?
I think my face is numb. Oh my God.
Now, despite that reaction, Nev was able to finish the morning show that day, don't worry. Plus, some strong taste buds on our producer, Sonia Varma, there as well. Now, if you want in on the action, you want to try some hot stuff, pop over to the Polisher parking garage tomorrow. The Heat Seeker event will run from 9 until 2. And that is it for CBC Windsor News. For news anytime, go to our website, cbc.ca/Windsor. You can always find us on Facebook and Instagram as well. And I want to once again take a moment and say Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there and to all the maternal figures out there as well. I will be away next week. It is not to go have my baby. It's still early for that, but I will be back the week after. Jason Vio will take care of you while I'm away. Thanks for watching. Have a great night, a great weekend, and a happy Mother's Day.